Missouri. Coach Nagy puts on the headset here to chat with us following his first Valley win here at Southern Illinois. Coach, that's about how you drew it up, right? That's how you wanted to go in overtime.
I asked our strength coach to take that 1,000-pound weight off my back. He helped me out. He helped me out there.
But in all reality, Coach, your team leads by 13, just over 5 minutes to go in regulation, and you let it go. But to come back in overtime with some big shots, what's that say about your group?
Well, first of all, we just fouled too much in that. We let them set their press up, and they quit running their stuff. I mean, I just see this over and over when teams just quit running their stuff and they just put the ball on the floor at you. And it's a difficult. And this is why I like to run motion, because you can do that to people. And if you got good shooters that they were just driving. If we helped at all, it was kicking, and they were jumping up and shooting and playing free. And we fouled way too much, let them get in a press. We only turned it over the one time, but that was obviously a big turnover. And I think you got to give them credit too. I mean, they've been through a lot of crap too, and to come back in that game and tie it up, I know he's proud of them for that. I'm proud of our guys, like you say, of not, because it would have been very easy, because you could see it in their face. I'm like, come on, guys. We talked about this halftime. This team has to embrace the ugliness of what's going on here. Even at halftime, we weren't playing very good offensively. We were up. I think we were up 8. I'm like, just embrace it. We've got to start. This is going to be ugly. It just is, and we got to make it ugly. And they only shot 42%. We forced 19 turnovers, and we only had 11. That's probably a big factor in the game. So our defense is getting closer. And they know if we're going to climb that ladder in terms of the standings, it's got to be about our defense and not our offense.
Coach, whatever you're saying at halftime, you need to think about start selling it, because Deba's 0 for 5. No, you got nothing going offensively. He gets you 13 big second-half points. What was it? Did you leave him alone? Do you talk to him?
No. Yeah, I didn't say anything to him. He sat a little bit in the first. You could see it on his face. And, the guys have got – so many of these players, if they're not playing well offensively, it affects everything they do. And so, we're telling you've got to get – it's amazing how many layups we missed tonight. Moo missed layup after layup and didn't play well offensively. We've got it, and that's what I'm saying. You got to embrace – the only way we can win is if we embrace that stuff and not let it affect us, particularly on the defensive end. But Ollie is just so explosive. You
haven't had a chance to really dissect your numbers yet, but 11 turnovers in 45 minutes, and I think you had 4 really early, so 7 for the rest of that 40-minute span. What is that? How does that encourage you?
Oh, well, I mean, we've done a pretty good job of taking care of it lately. I think it's helped just in our offense to have a better idea. We almost know exactly what everybody's going to do. Instead of like motion, you don't always know what everybody's going to do. And so we had to change the offense. It's slowly starting to come together, because it looked terrible early when we started running that, and now it's starting to come together a little bit. But I think that helps them just kind of know I'm supposed to do this instead of making reads as much. This is what I'm supposed to do.
16th game, I have not seen you play this few of guys in a game. Was that a kind of a pregame decision, or with Davion Sykes and of course Moreno's kind of sporadic with his time? But man, you locked some heavy minutes out of some guys, and they really responded.
Yeah, and we did last game too. We just offensively we're just better with a smaller lineup. With Jared at the 5, we're harder to guard. It's produced more points for us. We've just been we just haven't scored enough points, and it really puts a lot of pressure on our defense. And so to play smaller, and Jared does not want to play the 5. I go, well, wait a minute. You just played the 5 and got how many points you scored?
Yeah, 1 million.
Okay, you should want to play the 5. Are you kidding me? You're hard to guard at the 5. You actually get more shots from 3 at the 5 than you do at the 4. And they're not huge. Obviously, with the 5-man they start, it's only about 6'4". We did a nice job of still throwing it into Jarrett and getting him in some foul trouble.
Coach, I don't want to belabor this story because we've told it before at times this year with your group, and Drew Steffi is one of those guys I'm going to allude to and lead into, and how big those shots were late. But there were times where you put him on the scout team and he'd go like 7 for 7. You're like, that don't press me. Do it during the game. Do it when there's pressure. man, for Drew to make those shots late under pressure and then go back to the free throw line. You don't want to overstate it because it's just one game, but how could this be a turning point for a young freshman?
Yeah, I hope that it is, and I hope they see, like, they fouled him on purpose. You know, I mean, come on. That's nuts, okay? That tells you what they think about you, and so, like, that should fire you up and get you locked in, and he goes 3 for 4, which he hadn't been doing, but he should be a 90% free throw shooter. He's not shot the ball well this year. You know, and they played the odds, but I think that'll help him because the one thing about him is he's not afraid and he's got some fight to him, and you do something like that to him, it'll fire him up.
Coach, one of the other areas too, I mean, we talked about Ollie and his importance, but Jarrett in that first half, I mean, able to get Osei Bonsu in foul trouble. Really no one could guard him tonight. You talked about his strength as the 5. What is really the key for him as this year goes along to keep embracing that?
Well, I mean, when you get rewarded with that many points, you should want that for sure. I think you got to ask me again. I was thinking about something else. I'm sorry. Ask me again.
Yeah, no, you're good, Coach. Just you talked about Jarrett just embracing the 5.
Yeah.
How important that is for him moving forward
and
because now you're seeing proof in the pudding.
Yeah, he's our best 5 defensive player in terms of not letting guys catch the ball. He has a good feel for getting his body off, people getting around him. You know, Rollins just doesn't have the experience. He just gets stuck behind that kid. He's got to get his body off him and get around him and use his quickness. And because Rollins is a heck of an athlete, and the same with Antoine. Don't let those guys catch the ball. If they throw it over the top and we're not there to help you, that's somebody else's fault. But when you let them catch the ball, you're putting our defense in a tough spot.
So now do you have to not wear shoes for the rest of the year?
No, I'm not a superstitious guy at all.
I am superstitious.
Yeah. Well,
so
I'm not.
That's why.
I'm not. So,
no,
I'm
but
not.
Coach, all joking aside, though, just the rarity, and I know we're going to have a couple days here to rethink about this one and look ahead to Missouri State on Wednesday, but you know, back obviously during the COVID year, that's when you did do these back-to-backs and got the scout. But just in terms of the uniqueness for you and your staff, you know who you're going to see again on Wednesday when you hit the road in terms of the turnaround time here.
Yeah, and it's no different than if you played them 2 weeks down the line. Yeah. I mean, there's games in between it. You know, when we found out it was, I would have preferred if we're going to play them back-to-back, I'd rather play them on the road first and then come home. Because if you can win that one on the road, then you know it really sets you up good. But you know, it's when you win at home. I mean, that's the next test for anybody. And I'm not talking about if you're playing back to back, but when you beat somebody at your place, and then you got to go on the road to theirs. That's the test of a good team. Like to go in there because you know they're going to be fired up and look at these guys celebrating. You know, they'll show all that stuff, and you know we got to have enough to us to go. We don't care. Because we've got a chance here, you know, and you just got to win every day. Like you know, tomorrow the win is getting the rest, getting off your feet, and taking a good day off, and taking care of your body, getting good stuff in it, and then win Monday, and win. You know, we're just trying to just very small increments with this team, and embrace the ugliness. That's just going to be the. It's going to be the mantra the rest of the year. Embrace how ugly it is and be okay with it.
Coach, I know this is not your personality, but as everyone knows, winning is so hard. And congratulations on the first Valley win, and keep building off of it.
Yeah. I always say there's only one good thing about losing. It just reminds you how good winning is. Yeah. You know, when you win a lot, sometimes even when you win, you know, you don't have the feeling like we have today. When you haven't been winning, you win, man. It reminds you how important and how special each win is.
Coach,
because it's hard.
Yeah, Coach, thanks so much for
the
time.
Congratulations, Coach.
Once again, I would say Coach Scott Nagy. Join us here post game. His comments brought to you by CMC Mitchell and Associates.